Imagine you go into your favorite hub and instead of a pop-up that says, "Are you 18?" Your iPhone camera tells you, "Nah, fam, you look like you're 16."
So you mean like the good old peel the banana, five against Willie,
You
or
know,
polishing
exactly.
the wood?
Yeah, hell
And
yeah.
then, I mean, imagine.
Shaking your own protein shake. Sometimes it needs to be done, my man.
I mean, just imagine, getting ready, and then it's like, wait, what? You want to have access to my camera?
Wow, this is what we're talking
It's
today.
mine.
Welcome to today's nftwins podcast. We're talking about when your camera opens in the most inappropriate moments because there's some new regulation that talks about age verification.
Well, actually, it's not that new, the verification, but now it's
The
more and more,
regulation.
but it's more and more enforced. So, okay, Mark, tell us about it.
So basically, I mean, we're working on a job. I just implemented Yoti, which is an age verification platform.
Well, for our AI girlfriend website,
Yeah,
right? That
exactly.
we've
AI
been-
girlfriend boyfriend website because there's some new regulations and a few states in the U.S. that it is not permitted, so it's mandatory for people to verify the
It's
age.
like, how many states is it, Mark?
So I think there's right now 13 states, and in 3 states you cannot even go any not safe for work content, even if you're age verified. I think it's right now. Alabama. I don't know. That's 3. I forget which
I mean, you
ones
also
they
have
are.
it in Germany, France.
Germany, France, but it's just you have to have a safe for work landing page, and then afterwards you need to verify your age, basically. So talking about this, so how does the age verification work at the end of the day, right?
Okay, I want to split this podcast out on how does it work, how it makes money in general, as we talked about in last week's episode, how regulations enable industry to, first of all, make tons of money, as well as basically have unlimited demand. Because the end is like, if you work in an 18 plus industry, you need to have an age verification now. So this is like how regulations create own industries.
Look, so how does this work? So I implemented Yoti, like I said before, and there you can give the user 3 different styles to age verify. You can upload your government ID.
Man, who would do that?
Screenshot it, then they say they don't save it, etc. You verified once and then they delete all the data. So that means you have like imagine your browser, you have a cookie, or at this point I think it's an add-on. It's a Yoti add-on where you then can use, and then whenever you go on a different website you can just use this add-on and just plug it, just the plugin, sorry, and just directly click on it and you're age verified. The other one is it opens your camera and you take a screen, it takes basically a picture of you, and then and has an AI algorithm that runs over it and like, this guy looks like he's 18 or not. Above 18, well, I think like 20 or something, it says. But so this is the second option. And the third one is you need to show you need to purchase something, and then over your Visa credit card, they know the age basically. So these are the options. Imagine, but out of them, the most convenient one is just the AI thing. I did it before.
I did as well for testing, but I'm like, I did it for testing, so not when I'm trying to shake my protein shake.
Man, if you're peeling a banana and imagine you're just looking like a goon, just like, oh yeah, I'm ready. And then like, what the fuck is this bullshit?
The AI says just like, this guy needs help.
So best advice I can give you in that regard, just use a VPN and go to a different state or different country. Fuck that shit.
Okay, Mark. So tell us a little bit about how much money do you think they're making actually?
Well, look, I want to talk about, so Yoti is one of the biggest ones right now, right? It's not like they've been recently. They actually were founded in 2014.
Yeah.
It's a UK based company. And what they do is just facial age estimation, digital IDs. So it wasn't just for porn, but it was also for alcohol, weapons, gambling, any kind of thing that's regulated based on age. You need to do this verification. And it's also a trend towards more having a digital ID so that you don't need to have these, or more maybe possible also other logins, right? So you don't have to have Google login. So you just have your you log in with whatever, with Yoti, whatever it is, and you go from there. It's just an authentication method at the end of the day. But I don't know how much money they're making, Lucas. Let me know how much they're making. How many fucking users do they have?
They
porn is
made
big
they
in
made
other things.
in as of March 2025, their annualized, so ARR, is roughly 34.2 million. Also,
Damn.
it's the first month in which Yoti has turned a profit, like before EBITDA.
I am fucking surprised. When was this? This year?
Yeah, this was this article's from April 2025. Huh.
Well, they're probably everything on growth before.
Yeah.
Because now, look, now the regulation, I think they started this year that they have this kind of stuff that these countries or states need to be age verified. For example, Texas, Utah, Louisiana, Ohio, they need age verification now. Well, Germany and France as well, which is crazy though.
And think about it. Once you implement it in these platforms, you will, like, for example, all those tubes or hubs, man, they will not change it for a different provider. Because if you think about it, they're like, man, such a pain in the ass. It is crazy. Like, I would definitely not change it as well. But yeah, Mike, I'm also looking into the regulations, which I find kind of interesting to see. Because like there's a regulations that come up earlier, like many like 2022 or stuff like this, but it haven't been enforced till like 2024 or now in 2025. So which makes it quite interesting to see, because people are like, okay, I don't want to get sued, especially in the US. So they started, for example, now with the people that we work with right now, they rather have no traffic on a website because they don't want to risk it for all the other websites that they own. So they rather have like regulations there or block it.
Yeah, exactly. They block it to ensure that they're compliant. Because this also like this puts a lot of stress in terms of compliance on these kind of websites. In general, it doesn't even have to be porn, right? It could be anything else that is regulated that needs to have this, like gambling or whatnot. If you don't have this, you can get massive fines, like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, especially in the US, if you have one of this kind of stuff. So it's crazy. So that's going to cut into the profit margins of these businesses, which they're probably very high in these businesses, but still. And so it's really what I look. I think it's the topic also, like we mentioned last week, that we want to talk about why these regulation changes are so interesting and fascinating, how people can take advantage of this. Look, there's a new regulation coming out every fucking week, especially in the EU, because the EU, they need to, I don't know, they love regulations. So if something is new coming out and a change in an industry that might be super niche, there's a great opportunity to build something there, because at some point all the businesses, they need to imply, like they need to do this. For example, here in Spain, or it doesn't even have to be regulation, it could be a government grant or whatnot. For example, here in Spain we have this for autonomo, which is basically you are a freelancer. I think 3 or 4 years ago that the EU, or maybe it's even Spain, they offered a service that everyone who's an autonomous or freelancer can get benefits of it. So there's now these massive companies at this, because I get a lot of ads from them, that they offer you benefits of getting a new laptop up to $1,000 plus $2,000 worth of credits with agencies, marketing agencies, and they're gonna they offer you obviously the service to deal with that. Just like, hey, we built your website, charge you $2,000, and they just charge someone in India to do it for $20. It's fucking fascinating, and it's a great opportunity to take advantage of this kind of stuff, because it's not about regulation; it's also about government grants or other stuff that is available there. It's basically free money.
For me, it's interesting to see, because I was like, how is it possible that Yoti didn't have, well, they had their first profitable month because like this year.
Yeah.
And I was like, how is it possible? Because in the end, it should be very simple or like high margins. But then I came up with like a good ones, like, okay, R&D, compliance costs. I mean, to be honest, AI, there's so many facial recognition like softwares or models that you can use. I don't think that's that high itself. Infrastructure costs, cloud computing, storage, security infrastructure might be, but to be honest, one of them, which is I think more interesting to see, is like who's actually paying, like price pressure. So basically, there are two sides. So first of all, with governments and well as the platforms, and who's going to pay? Because in the end, the government makes the regulations, and the platforms say, "Hey, wait, why the fuck do I need to pay for this?" And
you get fined otherwise, my man.
Yeah. So that's like very interesting to see. Also,
because fuck you.
But also because they're talking about government, right? And then it's like, what are other industries or products that they can launch if they already have age verification? And one of them that I just saw was digital wallets. So think about your passport, etc., to have it digital, because I think these are one of these things that, I mean, right now in Germany you have like a extra thing where you can then read your well, actually with NFC you can read on your phone your ID, but it's still not digital. It's just like you always need to your ID, then you need an app, like an whatever app, read it, and then you can log in. But yeah, so these are like interesting to see because I'm actually quite shocked today. I mean, still 30 million is 30 million. That's like a 300 million business or 500 million business, depending on especially that grew year over year with like over 70%, which is quite a lot, especially now that more and more regulations kick in.
So I mean, end of the day, it comes down to privacy versus protection, right? It's like parents want their kids to be safe, which is good. I mean, there's a lot of studies that show, for example, porn, gambling, they have massive negative effects on the brain development in general, on brain. But adults want anonymity. They don't want to fucking do that. So maybe with you like services like Yoti, you have this. If they truly delete the data right away, then it's great. If not, they're going to take advantage of that, and that's biometrical data, which is crazy dangerous if someone has them. What? So imagine now, let's take it to an extreme, like a Black Mirror episode. Imagine you going fucking on I don't know, you go into a kiosk and you want to just buy something. Let's say you want to buy a pack of cigarettes, and then fucking scan your face for it. Like everyone is gonna have your fucking face, like scan or something, and like look, they don't even. Imagine now it's just scanning, but you don't know what the algorithm does. Does it save it?
Well,
You
but
don't know.
technically, it's the same as you go into a supermarket, the camera captures you as well, and then you're in the cloud.
Yeah, but it's different. It's a regular camera versus the age verification, like the algorithm on it. These cameras don't have the ability for that. The capabilities.
I mean, that's the
They don't
thing.
have the
It's- I'm-
facilities
I'm
for
like-
that big man.
I'm like, I wonder where I would cross. For me, I would like to look at it at a different angle because like, for me, it's more about what if the competitors who don't implement it, right?
Look, I have a hot take. A question: would you rather trust Pornhub with your passport or Yoti with your face scan? I'm gonna go for Yoti with the face scan. Not gonna lie to you.
Pornhub with my passport, brother. I have a new one. Can you have my old one?
Fuck this shit. I'll scan your face, man. It's the same shit for me.
Okay, Mark. So we talked now about how government regulations can create industries. What are other industries that you might see that are being disrupted right now, and could lead to, well, I guess, new business opportunities?
I'm not sure if disrupted in that sense of business opportunities. I know one thing that I'm just thinking about government regulation, especially in the EU right now. AI. So AI is heavily regulated in the EU, which kind of like halters or stalls all the development in the AI space in the EU, and that's why the EU is falling behind further and further to the US. It's one of the things. It's not like it's promoting. So when that changes, there will be other changes that will have a massive impact. For example, newest release, the iPhone. So and the AirPods Pro 3, I think, and they have the live translation app. The feature does not exist in Europe.
Well, it's not allowed to. Yeah,
Exactly, but that's my point. It's not allowed to. So we're gonna get the tech eventually when that changes, and that's one of the things.
For me, another thing is that needs to change. For example, the other day I was trying to in Germany cancel my credit card. So first of all, I canceled I fucking canceled my bank account already half a year ago, and then I got like a bill, and I was just like, what? It's like 18 euros. I was like, but I didn't even have that credit card for years because I've been, how is it possible? And then I called them and they're like, yeah, I mean, let me verify you quickly. I was like, yeah, this is my bank account that I actually already closed. She's like, yeah, then I can't verify you anymore. And I was like, yeah, but I have still a credit card. I just got a bill for like 18 bucks that I need to pay. Yeah, but this is something that you need to cancel separately. So I was like, how is that possible? If I cancel my bank account, how is that credit card that is linked to the bank account and was ordered through the bank, how is that still linked? Yeah, but it's different. So that's like one of the things. And then you can't just like cancel on the phone or online. No. You have to send it per post, like literally just per mail, right? Per mail. No, not email, normal mail.
Physical mail.
Fax it. So I had to cancel my account via fax. So I can't just like close, delete the account. No. You have to fax that stuff. Man, I'm 33 and I have never faxed shit in my life. Like even when we were kids, faxing was already old school. It was already outdated. So they just like showing and that's like one of the things where regulation is like needs disruption. And I think there will be like companies, especially I think when boomers die, but die out, nobody will go to normal banks anymore because it's like such a pain in the ass. They will all go to.
I mean, yeah, they
banks.
also same here with our company account, right? In Spain,
Oh,
we're
Bank
using
Sabadell,
Bank Sabadell, and man, pain in the ass. They charged us multiple times because
every
we
month
closed it
$30.
exactly, and then no, it went up to a couple $100.
Yeah, in like 40
Because
days.
like, look, this is the thing. This is the situation. So we closed the company already. The bank account needs to be open because we're gonna get taxes back. Then we don't have any charges that are coming through except for they had a charge that was like, hey, you have your bank account open.
interest, and something like this.
No,
Amortization.
yearly.
Yeah, plus interest and stuff like this.
Yeah,
And then I'm
exactly.
like, interest on what? I mean, then basically because we had like zero money in your bank account because there was nothing, like no
You get
charges.
€0 on
And then it was like minus, and then from the minus because of the fees that they came up with, and then it just that's like for me
so
crazy
basically
stuff.
from minus, so we had like €2 on there. We had like a charge of $23, which turned out to because we weren't able to access the bank account because we didn't think about it. And then we went up to 100 something euros,
Crazy
and then 200
stuff.
euros just because we didn't see it right away. And just like think about it from minus 12, what kind of percentage is that? That's
It's wild.
insane. That's like a 1,000 something percent.
There's a big rant on this, but to be honest, that comes back like to regulations. That's why also I think these banks are still around, and also that's like once the regulation changes as well, like how stuff like this, cancellation, etc., where you are required to use these tools, that will also enable apps or software which are completely run by AI. So may it be, for example, a completely investment bank which is run only by AI agents. So I think that's like also something super interesting to what we're gonna see in the next few years. That more, because right now people are building more and more AI tools that enable people to be more efficient. So they're selling it to the current incumbents, I guess, instead of building a platform from scratch just with AI bots or AI agents, which I think is going to be disrupting. But right now, for this, the regulation needs to change. So there's like something where if regulation doesn't change, these companies will not be able to exist, especially in Europe, because I think North America, or especially the US, is way more open for this stuff. So I think in this case, regulation protects the incumbents.
Well, it always does because you need all the compliance.
Yeah.
Always does. More regulation means incumbents are going to be better because they have the money to actually afford to be compliant to all these things. All right, closing thoughts. I mean, age verification is there already. It's going to become more and more popular. We already know that the adult industry is one of the industries that is pioneering a lot of technologies.
I mean, in AI, like just video generation, it is wild.
Everything.
If you think
video in the past, DVDs, right?
Blu-ray is
internet,
HDD.
and like anything, like all this kind of stuff. And I think we're going to continue seeing that. So I'm sure at some point in the non-adult industry, in a couple of years, we're going to have this age verification and more people are going to hear about this company, Yoti. I am for sure. I think, Lucas, you got any other closing thoughts? If not, let's...
No, I think that's it. And guys, if you have any thoughts, let us know, or want us to talk about any other topic, let us know as well. Of course, catch you next one. Peace.
Cheers.